Most climate finance is broken. Climate finance is the money put to one side to stop climate change from getting worse and to help people deal with the consequences of climate change.
And trying to fix it is one of the key objectives of COP30.
This is COP30 Covered, Episode 4.
Climate finance can be broken down into two strands of funding: mitigation and adaptation.
Mitigation is money put aside for prevention, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, for example, investing in renewables or increasing carbon sinks like forests. Whereas adaptation is about anticipating the effects of climate change and minimizing the damage. So here you're looking at financing infrastructure like building seawalls or developing drought-resistant crops, and even creating cash safety nets that communities can rely on in the case of climate-intensified natural disasters. In both cases, funds are needed much more in developing countries, as they're already experiencing the greatest effects of climate change and still have a long way to go in developing their energy systems. So, do you want the bad news or the bad news? As part of the Paris Agreement, developed countries agreed to find a balance between mitigation and adaptation, but the amount of money raised for mitigation currently greatly outweighs the amount raised for adaptation. In fact, in 2023, the amount provided dropped by $2 billion from the previous year. The goal for 2025 was supposed to be $40 billion in adaptation funding, and it's not looking good. The second piece of bad news is that 65% of current funding is in the form of loans. And a recent report by Oxfam and CARE Climate Justice Centre found that developing countries are paying more back to wealthy nations for climate finance than they're actually receiving. In fact, for every $5 they get, they are paying back $7. This increases their debt and, of course, hinders further climate action. So rich countries are paying poorer countries to stop making the problem worse, but A, not enough, and B, are not also helping those poorer countries adapt to the more dangerous environment they now find themselves in. Danger that has overwhelmingly been added by those same rich countries.
So, at COP30, the goal is creating a roadmap to $1.3 trillion per year of funding for developing countries so they can mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change by 2035.
Will this happen, and will it happen in a fair and equitable way? We're all about to find out.